Hello and welcome. So, the Intrepid has finally arrived from Fanhome. So, you might recall this ship from Star Trek Picard, the very angry ship that chased down the Titan. So, let's have a look at this magazine, shall we? So, as always, the stand instructions are there, stats for the ship as well, so it's quite a nice front view of it. It was a Duderstadt class starship. Again, the nice profile pictures of it as well. And also a bit about how they designed it. It was inspired by a model by Bill Krause, which was called the USS Wasp. And I have actually seen that model that he did. It was very nice and very well done. And I've seen the original model there of it. Very unique as well in its styling. One thing I do like about the magazines is basically you get to see all the concepts of the ships as well. Then up to the final product. So, let's get on with the model itself. Right, so let's get this out of the box, which is always the fun, challenging part of getting a new model. Let's try to get the box open and get the polystyrene out to actually get into the ship. And the base decides to come out with it, which is handy. Right, let's get all this out of the way. Floor is always a good place to put your boxes. I do hate it, they always tape these up. Right. Base, assemble. Right. There you are, video done. Right, let's have a look at the model then. So, top down, nice shape to it. Quite a classic kind of shape with the circular saucer, and the cells. And then as we look at the front, quite nice here with the deflectors, a nice bit of the coloured plastic there. So many times I've said in these videos, when they're just painting these areas, it does cheapen the model, so it's always nice to see the coloured plastic there. Then we've got the same for the cells and the facade collectors. Painted at the rear, unfortunately. It'd be nice just to be able to continue that bit of blue plastic there. And then at the rear, again, painted on impulse engines. Now, these ships aren't cheap, but when they're cutting corners like that, it does cheapen them. So, construction-wise, the saucer, metal, right onto the back of the body, and, nicely enough, the pylons as well. They're solid. Got the plastic housing for the nacelles. Same for the lower sensor area here. But the neck itself feels metal. So, it's a very nice detailed model. I did like the ship in the show. I questioned why it was chasing the Titan. You thought something chasing the Titan would have been more of a heavier battle cruiser kind of class, even a Ross class, for example, or the Picard version of the Galaxy. But they sent this ship, and yeah, it got angry. Now, the question is, can I remember how it goes in the stand? Should have paid more attention to the magazine. Now, just to compare it next to, far enough, the Titan. So this is just the standard version. It's not the XL Enterprise G that I've got in the cupboard. But I can't bring that one out though. But yeah. The XL version is a tad bit bigger. But scale wise, no, with the Titan and that works really well. Great bit of detail on it. Obviously, I wish they were cheaper. Fanhome's not known to be cheap and that. But the model itself, compared to some of the other ones that have been a bit lackluster or flimsy as well, this one's not too bad. Certain things I'd like to see them change. Also I mentioned there about the impulse engines. When they've done the paint on version at the back there, and then they did exactly the same on the Titan, and even worse, they did it on the XL version of the G as well, and that was a lot more expensive. You'd have thought their XL models would have been, the creme de la creme, best of the best. So, but all in all, it looks almost bang on to what it did in the show. It's a nice model, it's a good size. It's getting added to the collection on the shelf. And that will conclude this nice short review. So do remember and check the description in the video. You'll find some links in there. Also, always appreciate a subscription, and a follow. It does, perk me up a bit, making me think, I'm doing something that folk enjoy. And we shall see what the next model from Fanhome is, and I shall see you on that video. Thanks everybody that's watching.